Hi, my name is Hauck, and I'm here to talk to you today about my battle with mental illness. It all started about 4 years ago. I was just leaving high school. I was prom king. I had life by the balls. Everything felt right. I had a group of friends that I loved and loved me. I knew who I was, what my hobbies were, what my interests were. I had dreams. I had goals. My life had been so structured, so built into a regular pattern that I had never perceived it to be anything different, and my life was filled with meaning. People remember me, I'm sure, as this happy-go-lucky kid, this energetic, wild, charismatic, happy kid. And though there was a few issues that I had, a few things that I did during that time that seemed odd at most, when I left home after graduating to go down to Washington, D.C. to work, something changed. It was a slow drift down. What first started as a feeling across my skin, a feeling like 1,000 ants going up and down, right underneath the layer of skin that is at the outermost. I would get this feeling waking up in the morning, and at certain times throughout the day, it would feel like my skin was moving around me, like it was shifting on my body. Then came the panic attacks. Horrible waves of anguish and fear and disgust and anger and doubt, and they would rack me. I couldn't hide from them. They would find me wherever I was. It felt as if my brain was melting right inside my skull. I didn't know what to do. My whole body shuddering under the weight of this mental distress. I couldn't even look anyone in the eye. I would go running off into a park in the middle of the night and stand out there howling and screaming and crying and beating myself. It's then I realized that something I had always taken for granted was not right. You see, ever since I was young, I've thought of suicide as, I don't know. I thought about it a lot. Every day of my life I thought about it. I thought of different ways of killing myself, whether it be from hanging or shooting myself, jumping in front of a car, taking too many pills, cutting my wrists, drowning, starving. I thought about it as you would daydream about anything else in the world. It's what I used to cope with my life. It's what I had used for so long to deal with my problems. I could survive anything if I could kill myself at any time. Suicide wasn't scary to me then. It wasn't some taboo thing. It felt like fate. I lived on borrowed time, just awaiting the moment that I would have the courage to do it. And this only got worse in DC. It only got worse as day after day my mind started to fracture around itself. Day after day, I could hear things speaking to me, and I could feel feelings that I'd never felt before. It felt like you were sticking hot iron down my throat. I couldn't breathe, I couldn't see, I couldn't smell, I couldn't taste. Everything in my body was screaming out in agony, and I didn't know what to do. And it got worse and worse and worse. One day, as I stood outside waiting for the bus, and I saw it coming down the street, my body stepped out in front of it. It was silent then, but I could feel the screeching of the brakes, and I could hear people's yells around me as the bus careened towards me, and luckily, it stopped. I opened my eyes and realized I hadn't been touched, and then it sunk in about what I just did. I went to the hospital that day. That was the first time I would go to a psych ward. The second time I would go to a psych ward would be about 2 years later. I'm home now in PA, but I've lost all sense of self living in DC. My depression and my anxiety had robbed me of my entire being. Anything I loved, I couldn't do anymore. Anything that was hard seemed impossible to surmount. I just laid there. I just melted away. I would spend some days going under my parents' bed and pulling out the handgun. It took a breaking point for me. That happened in January of 2016. Or 2017. At that point, things had gotten so bad that I was delusional. I believed that people were trying to kill me. I believed that everyone I loved was planning on leaving, and I could see evidence of it in my mind. My girlfriend at the time had to stand there and take it as I berated her about invisible suitors that she has seen in the night, constantly thinking that she is cheating on me, and not just thinking it, but seeing it, feeling it, smelling it. I'd be racked up all night thinking these thoughts, calling her at all hours, begging her, asking her, pleading her for her to tell me what is going on. I couldn't talk to anybody. They were all in on it. They were all trying to hurt me. They were all trying to do evil, and I deserved it. I had a monster in me. I had to be taught a lesson. I would have died then. I would have tried to commit suicide again for the second time. If it wasn't for my girlfriend standing her ground and telling me I either need to get help or she'll leave. That's what got me into the hospital the second time. During this second visit, I was diagnosed with major depressive disorder and obsessive compulsive disorder. I had never had names for the things that I had gone through. Now I did. They showed me how these things happen. They put me on medication. They sent me to therapy. For a year and a half, I did groups every Wednesday, group therapy. I would sit and talk out my problems in a crowd of others who were going through stuff the exact same. Those meetings were very helpful. Those meetings were everything for me. The meds, they took away a lot of the symptoms of the illness. But in doing so, they took away my sex drive, my ability to feel happiness and sadness to an extreme extent. I'm better, but I'm not good. And this is the part of mental illness that I think gets overlooked, because once you get help, that doesn't mean the battle's over. You still have to rebuild your life. Even if you're on the right meds and you're going to therapy, unless you work your ass off, you might never recover. I live a life now quietly. I'm not really the person I once was. My anxiety keeps me in check and busy some days. My OCD and my obsessions, they're rare, but they come. But yet I get up every day and I do what I must to continue on, to continue building a life worth living. I don't think of suicide anymore. Like an ex-love, I slowly am forgetting her face. And though right now I am nowhere near fully healed, I'm living a life now facing my mental illness instead of running from it. And what has got me this far, what has saved me so many times from myself, from being consumed by this thing that you cannot see but you can feel. This thing that not only attacks your body, but attacks your mind. The thing that helped me was people that cared. People that were there. People like the friends that I have, who didn't run away from me in this time of healing, who opened themselves up and allowed me to be vulnerable and honest, to not hide these things, to not let it grasp a hold in my mind and take me over again. the people around me are what I live for now. And maybe there's more to life than just the people around us, but I can tell you that for someone like me, it's a pretty damn good thing to live for. For those of you who are battling mental illness, I hope you find the people in your life that you need. People that are loving and caring, empathetic, who seek understanding, who seek to see you healed, not just your symptoms gone. Don't give up searching till you find those people. And remember that no matter how dark it gets, there's always a new day at the end.